Welcome into On Your Feed, the streaming show where we take those short videos that you see on your phone and add some context you won't get anywhere else. I'm Heather Pauloff.
And I'm Sophia Pericone. This week we are tracking mystery sewer explorers, a viral play that put Northwest Ohio in the national spotlight, and the return of some springtime pests that actually mean something positive.
But first, we start with tragedy here in Toledo. A mass shooting in the city's Old West End ends with 12 people in the hospital.
Medical's en route, multiple units, code 3.
We're going to have multiple injured victims.
Copy, multiple victims, 5 shots.
4 or 5, we'll need at least probably 4 life squads.
Need at least 4 life squads.
The investigation is moving fast, but in the hours after the shooting, many of the biggest questions were still unanswered. Michael Sandlin was there as police and festival leaders worked to figure out what happens next.
Let me get you up to speed on a mass shooting that just happened here in the Old West End of Toledo during the Old West End Fest. According to the Toledo Police Department, just after 5:30, someone opened fire in a crowd of people on Glenwood and Delaware. According to the mayor, 8 people have been hit, but they're all expected to survive their injuries. Now, right now, there's a lot of lingering questions. We don't know who the suspect is, why they shot into the crowd, and we're still trying to figure out what's going to happen next with the festival itself. I spoke to organizers with the festival. They say they're holding a meeting right now trying to determine if they continue it into the night, if they're going to even do it tomorrow, and even going into next year if they'll do the festival again. I've spoken to participants at the festival and volunteers. Many people tell me that they are now scared for their lives in a way that they never were before in the many, many years of the Old West End Fest. So now I'm in the parking lot of Rosary Cathedral here in the Old West End, waiting for Toledo Police to give us an official update on everything that they know up to this point. I'll be sure to keep you updated both on air and online so that you can continue staying up to date on this mass shooting here in the Old West End. Reporting, I'm Michael Sandlin for WTOL 11.
Since Michael filed that report, police have confirmed 12 people were shot, their ages ranging from 14 to 61.
Investigators believe at least 2 people were shooting at each other. No arrests have been made as we record here on the morning of Monday, June 8th. But police say they're following multiple leads and are asking anyone with video or photos to contact Crime Stoppers. You can remain anonymous and could be eligible for a cash reward. As investigators search for the shooters, city leaders are also looking ahead to a summer filled with festivals, parades, and large events.
Deputy Toledo Police Chief Joe Heffernan says this shooting should serve as a warning about the consequences of gun violence.
Why would somebody do something like this? It's just it's horrible.
And summer's just getting started. Is there anything you want to say to people who may come to different events with not the right intentions?
Well, I would say that I think everybody has to treat people like they would like to be treated. And if we have some people out there, some groups of young people that are thinking that this is exciting, it's not. This is a perfect example of how when bullets start flying, they can go anywhere. They can strike anybody. So I know that we're going to be out there. We've already made some plans to do some community outreach, especially with the juveniles in this city, to do some more community policing and outreach to them about violence and the consequences of violence like this.
Heffernan says police are already planning additional community outreach this summer, as he mentioned, particularly with young people.
He also emphasized that many of the people hit had nothing to do with the dispute that started that gunfire.
The Old West End Festival has been a Toledo tradition since the early 1970s, celebrating the historic neighborhood for 53 years. The event opened Friday evening at 6 and drew thousands of people. Saturday morning started with the King Wamba Carnival Parade at 10, followed by home tours, art displays, food, and live music. Then at 5:37 Saturday evening, everything changed
And Toledo police responded to reports of shots fired. By 7 p.m., Mayor Wade Kapsakavich confirmed to WTOL 11 that at least 8 people had been shot and were expected to survive.
A little more than 2 hours later, police announced the number of victims grew to 12. Then, around 11 p.m. Saturday, festival organizers canceled the remainder of the event, which was set to continue Sunday. One of the people helping lead community conversations after this mass shooting is Toledo City Councilman John Hobbs III.
I had the chance to sit down with him Sunday morning, and he told me finding long-term solutions will take more than just police work. You grew up in Toledo.
Yes.
You're from here.
Yes.
What is something that is in your mind that might be the root cause of violence like this that we really need to address?
So I don't have an answer to the root cause of this type of nonsense and evil, but here's some things that we can do better. Number one, we need our parents to be really involved with their children's lives. Know where your children are. So not only do we need parents to be actively involved in their children's lives, see what's going on, know who they're hanging out with, know who they're with. The next thing we need to do is we need the community, when they see things that are going on, reach out to the police department, reach out to a higher authority through 911 or Engage Toledo. Let someone know what's going on so that we can prevent these type of things that's happening. I don't have an answer. I wish I did. I wish I did, because if I had an answer, I think if anyone had the answer, we would actively be taking care of this. But what we can do is work together towards an answer, our city, our citizens, our administration, our council, and come up collectively with different things that may prohibit this type of action. We have to set a tone now. This cannot happen in our city anymore or any longer.
And we had that conversation on Sunday morning, still about 12 hours after everything had happened. And he was still actively making phone calls to the police chief, to Toledo Fire, kind of checking in on that situation. So that was still a very kind of, unfolding situation, even when we had that conversation. Yeah. It was this situation this weekend is certainly, taking a lot of people off guard.
Definitely. Sure. And we mentioned the ages kind of range all over. Some young teenagers, I know you're a parent, cannot imagine, especially as we've been reporting, summer is just getting started.
Yes, absolutely. And Hobbs says that city leaders will meet with the mayor and police chief to review what happened and look for ways to improve safety at future events. He's also urging anyone who recorded any video to come forward with it.
I ducked, everybody got on the ground, and I crawled into the house.
People have innate evil in them, and they are there to do evil. That was a situation that shouldn't have happened.
For many people in the Old West End, the shooting turned a weekend tradition into something that they never expected to experience.
Annalise Cornejo Garcia spoke with neighbors still trying to process what happened.
I was in the Old West End neighborhood just a little bit ago along Delaware Avenue. I was talking to neighbors. Many of them were still out on their porch in the aftermath of the shooting. They were leaning on each other, they said. A lot of them were very, very hurt, very traumatized. Many of them described to me. Some were shaking still from things that they experienced yesterday.
Because we saw all the people running out, and just the look of fear and terror on their faces. It was almost like, it wasn't real. Like, what is happening?
Some festival goers told WTOL 11 they are still shaken up days later.
Others say that they're now reconsidering whether they'll return to the festival if it continues into the future. And Toledo City Council President Vanice Williams was actually at the festival herself when that shooting happened.
She says what she saw afterward is something she will not soon forget.
It was a horrific experience. It was scary, terrifying to see so many people hurt. It was pretty bad. We're around getting food, eating, listening to music, and we heard gunshots. This was just like unheard of. They had every security measure that was needed to be done. Some people have innate evil in them, and they are there to do evil. That was a situation that shouldn't have happened. It was a great event. I don't know what could have been done. People are asking for answers, but I'm asking for solutions. I'm asking for people to turn in any witness statements that they have.
Williams says she doesn't want one act of violence to define a festival that has been part of Toledo for generations.
And she's calling for event organizers and city leaders to review safety plans before more summer events begin. Now, the shooting is also raising questions for parents who regularly take their families to those community events.
Dominique O'Neill found people are now weighing safety against tradition.
For parents and grandparents, community festivals are meant to be places where families gather, children play, and memories are made. But after the shooting at the Old West End Festival, many are questioning how safe those events really are.
It was very tragic, and I hate that that happened for our city. It's very unfortunate.
Angela Allen says her thoughts immediately turn to the victims and to the safety of her own grandchildren.
I want them protected in every single way. I don't want them to feel in jeopardy. I don't want me to put them in any type of jeopardy when they go places, but I don't want them to feel like they can't go places either.
Some parents say incidents like this are already changing their behavior. Melissa Byam, a mother of two who was visiting in from Fort Wayne on Sunday, says she now thinks differently about attending future festivals and large events.
Every once in a while we'll go, but we just try not to go for too long. But we are more avoidant of them now, I would say.
For Old West End resident Tiana Foster, the violence hit especially close to home because she had already been in the area shortly before the shooting.
And it just shocks me because I could have been one of those victims easily. I've had friends that walked past right before the shooting even happened, and I'm just happy that they're safe.
Foster says the violence overshadowed the fun, and that puts a cloud over the festival moving forward.
It's harmful to the neighborhood because all we want to do is have fun, and that's what we look forward to on that weekend, not shooting.
Still, some parents like Anthony Hines, a father of three, say they won't let fear keep them away from future events.
Yes, I still going to go attend festivals and stuff. Just I'm gonna be more cautious. Probably not stay as long. Get there, do what we're gonna do, and get out real quick and everything. You can't stop from having fun. Things happen everywhere. It just we got to keep on living.
While some parents say they may avoid large events or spend less time there, others say they refuse to let fear keep them from supporting community festivals.
I have heard that from some people that I've heard from personally who were at the event too. And this isn't the first time that Toledo has seen a shooting, though, of this scale.
Move, find cover, find cover! Get down, get down, stay down! We got multiple shooters everywhere.
On July 5th, 2021, shots rang out at a 4th of July block party on Lawrence Avenue in central Toledo. 12 people were shot there, including 17-year-old Stefan Johnson, who then died from his injuries.
Then Police Chief George Krall said investigators recovered evidence showing about 80 rounds were fired from multiple guns. More than 70 officers had responded to that scene.
Stay with WTOL 11 on air and online for updates on this developing story. You can find extended stories and interviews right now on WTOL.com. And you can follow the latest updates and live updates from the city streaming live only on WTOL 11+.
From Toledo to New York, a strange mystery has people scratching their heads.
Investigators and our Melissa Andrews are trying to figure out why groups of people keep climbing into city sewers after dark.
And I want to show you some video and see what you think. What is going on here? Here's the video, and you can see 3 people are walking toward the middle of the street here in Brooklyn, and they begin to remove the sewer cover, and then a car pulls up and shines the light on the 3 of them as they climb down into the sewer one by one. Another car appears, and then the 2 drive off in different directions after the last person gets into the sewer. So investigators are pretty baffled here. This has happened now in Brooklyn and Queens, and it appears during several nights, people are getting into the sewer system after dark. For example, in Brooklyn's Williamsburg neighborhood, about 7 people were seen coming out of the sewer in the middle of the intersection as cars were just driving past. Some of them were wearing headlamps and carrying tools. And in another instance, a group went underground and didn't come back out until around 2 in the morning. In another instance, a group was seen prying a manhole cover off of a sewer and climbing down into the sewer system as well. Obviously, officials are saying this is illegal and extremely dangerous. The city's Department of Environmental Protection also says that there could be toxic gases, flooding risks, unstable surfaces, and of course, confined spaces that can be deadly. They've already inspected parts of the sewer system and say there's no damage, but they're still investigating why these people are climbing down there and what they're doing down there. Residents are stumped by this. Some people say, oh, it's probably just innocent exploration, but at least one person who lives in the area said, no, they're looking for something. And I think that could be true considering they're carrying tools. Now, either way, police say there is no known threat to public safety here, but it's a mystery that everybody wants to solve.
I used to live in Brooklyn, and if I saw this, I would be sent into a panic. So hopefully they figure it out, but city officials say they found no damage inside the system so far.
But they are warning that entering the sewers is both illegal and potentially deadly because of those toxic gases and those flooding risks.
There were 3 victims that sustained gunshot wounds, and they are currently being treated for their injuries. Their ages are 11, 20, and 25, and an 18-year-old did succumb to the injuries sustained during this incident.
A graduation celebration in California ended in tragedy.
Listen to the moment dispatchers learned multiple people had been shot.
We have several hundred people out here. Start everybody, code 3.
10-4, all units, code 3 to start from the high school, code 33.
Here's the stadium. Probably 100, 200 people out here. Everybody's staying at the end with a black hoodie. That's all I have. I have 2 victims. One has a TSW to the head, obvious 10.5. Second one is an XJ with a gunshot wound to the chest.
Investigators say the 18-year-old victim was still wearing his graduation gown when he was killed.
Police have interviewed hundreds of witnesses, but have not yet announced an arrest. So what happens if the city damages your property while tearing down a house?
Some Toledo residents say they've been asking that question for months. Lead investigator Brian Duggar has the story.
Imagine someone destroying your fence or your roof and then saying, tough luck, we're not paying for the damage that we caused. That is exactly what the city of Toledo has said to several residents whose homes were damaged during demolitions. Demolitions done by the city. Why? The city says they have political immunity, and they're right. Cities do have political immunity under the Ohio Revised Code. 3 people I talked to this week were all told they were out of luck. But each of them asked me the same question. I pay taxes, so why should I have to pay when the city damages my house? And right now, that answer is simply because the state says that's the way it is.
11 Investigates reviewed city records, which showed dozens of demolition damage complaints have been filed.
Most of those claims were denied under Ohio's political subdivision immunity law. You can always check out videos and stories like Brian's. They're free on WTOL 11 Instagram page.
And while your Instagram account is not going away, Meta is offering a way to pay for more features.
You could start paying for Instagram. That is if you want Instagram Plus. Meta is launching Instagram Plus, and it'll cost you $3.99 a month. The subscription includes longer stories that stay up for 48 hours instead of 24 hours, extra audience controls, custom app icons, new profile fonts, and deeper analytics on who's watching what you post. But don't worry, Instagram says the free version isn't going anywhere. This is just an optional upgrade for people who want new features.
Interesting. $3.99. Was that something you would pay for?
Maybe not for Instagram.
Yeah, no, not for me either. So that new subscription also includes things like story rewatch data, custom profile options, and the ability to pin more posts to your profile.
See, it'd be nice for Facebook.
Oh, okay.
And we'll see if that happens. Meta says the standard version of Instagram will remain free, so you'll still be able to access all of that great WTOL 11 content without any changes. Switching gears now, for many families in Findlay and North Baltimore, a grocery run is about to look pretty different.
Jack Crum takes us to Great Scott as the stores shut down and leaves families with questions and the community with some concerns.
A community favorite grocery store in Hancock County and Wood County will soon be shutting its doors. Great Scott Grocery Store announced that they'll be closing 3 locations early next month. Now this includes 1 in North Baltimore and 2 in Findlay. The Great Scott in North Baltimore and Findlay's West Main Cross Street location will close July 1st, and the Broad Avenue location will close July 8th. WTOL 11 did reach out to Spartan Nash, who owns Great Scott, and they did not give a reason for the closure, only saying that they're grateful for their customers and their employees.
The closures are also creating concerns for local food assistance programs that have partnered with Great Scott for decades.
And, especially when it comes to places like that, having that big centralized grocery store is important for them to get to their food.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens without it. But I know there's some towns, some communities that they almost go into a food desert when things like this happen. So I guess, we'll see what happens there.
All right. Well, moving into Sylvania now, 2 more businesses in downtown Sylvania are closing their doors.
And both owners tell Michael Sandlin it's because of the same challenge.
The windows are dark at the former Main Street Suites. The sign is gone, and it's a fate 2 more Sylvania businesses are heading toward later this summer.
It's very heartbreaking for all of that to happen.
That's Tracy Tober, owner of Bandit's Main Street Eats. She spent most of her life in the corporate world. But last August, she decided to live out one of her childhood dreams and dive headfirst into owning a restaurant.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It is, it's nice, 1, being my own boss. 2 is I enjoy being in the kitchen.
Tober says customers took well to her handmade selection. But right away, she was hit with curveballs outside of her control.
We opened during the construction of the first half of Main Street, and we had the bridge closed, which was a huge hit for us. And then also the construction in the second block.
Tober says customers struggled to get to her, cutting into profits. And now she says she's officially hit a wall and has made the tough decision to close at the end of the month. Now each time she rings out a customer, it could be the last time she sees them.
It's heartbreaking to know that, especially when I live down the street now, I'll have to still continue to drive by it.
It's a similar story with Katie Gilliland, who opened her bookstore, Finch and Fern, back in 2023, but is now shutting down her storefront and going digital only at the end of July.
People are going to be bummed about not getting to see the cat.
Gilliland says the road projects have devastated just about every downtown business, and when it was time to sign a new lease, the answer was easy.
I lost tens of thousands of dollars in sales. Would it be financially responsible for me to sign another 3-year lease when I've already been struggling through construction? And for me, the answer was no.
Gilliland says from her point of view, the blame falls squarely on Sylvania's city government for letting its businesses die on the vine.
There should have been consideration for the small businesses here. And I'm not talking like pay our entire loss of revenue, but something.
These closures follow the shutdown of Main Street Suites earlier this year.
And both of those owners say that road projects and access issues cut deeply into customer traffic there.
A small town baseball team is getting some big time attention. Take a look. Montpelier's Malachi Smeltzer is the player behind what some are calling the bunt heard around the world.
I just want to see it. Oh my goodness. Okay, all right.
Look at as he slides into home.
During the Locomotives District Championship run, the sophomore laid down a perfect suicide squeeze bunt despite a pitch coming right at his head. Okay, good for him. The play scored the game's first run and helped spark an 11-2 win over Minster.
Since then, this video has topped 1 million views online and has been shared by major baseball outlets, including John Boy, Max Preps, and Major League Baseball accounts itself. That's pretty cool. Coach Toby Hutchinson says the play may have gone viral, But for his team, bunting is not a trick play. It's something they practice every single day.
Okay, well, the Locomotives finished the season with their 3rd straight district title and came just 1 win shy of reaching state.
Wow. And there obviously was a play designed right there, though, because there was a player coming from 3rd. They were stealing home a little bit. So that's the way to do it.
You know, well, was he stealing home or was it a force? Okay.
Right there.
He was
and then
stealing home. Oh,
came
sure.
right in.
Yeah, that came in fast.
Just make sure that bunt stays in fair play, right? Which obviously it did. So
sure.
I'm just happy no one got hurt.
Coming right at his head.
Everyone could have collided, and glad everyone's okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, at least that we know.
At least that we know of. Yes, correct.
Well done.
All right. Well, in a village of just over 1,200 people, success isn't always about competition.
Yeah, sometimes it's about helping the business across the street.
Laura Sandlin shares the story from Millbury.
Southeast of Toledo sits a small village with a population just over 1,200 people. The people here in Millbury invest in their community and one another.
This is a cappuccino chill.
And like many towns, the ice cream shop is a local landmark.
There you are. Have a great day.
Mellow Cream sits just off of State Route 51. Here, owner John Hoover and his wife share a love and a sweet tooth.
It is just small hometown community. It's a staple here in Millbury. We love doing it.
The couple bought Chitter Chatter in Holland, then decided to expand their ice cream business to a second location, eventually landing here at Mellow Cream in Millbury.
But it's very rewarding having our regular customers come up day after day, sometimes multiple times during the day. It's just, it's friendly faces.
They've only owned Mellow Cream for the last 5 years, but the local sweet shop has been around since 1971. Now, as Mellow Cream marks 55 years this summer, the couple serves up scoops and memories.
We've had customers come down from Michigan because 50 years ago, this is where they came as a kid, and they're continuing to come.
As the Hoovers and their team serves up dessert from the walk-up windows, it's hard to miss another local staple just across the street.
We're like a one-stop shop here in Millbury.
Charles Popovich runs Bricks to Clicks. He says it's all about giving their customers a deal.
And we sell merchandise at a discount rate, usually about 30 to 60% off, sometimes even more if we got to get rid of it.
From balls to grills, sheds to toys, and more, the store buys from manufacturers and resells almost anything. And Popovich says his community has shown up. So he's taking that success and giving back to the people who support him.
If it's needy families or whatnot, we'll help out with churches. We'll donate blankets, comforters, backpacks. We donate to help kids out during school times.
You may think 2 small businesses in a village of just 1,200 people would fight for customers. But Hoover says here in Millbury, that's not the case.
We support him, he supports us. We keep an eye out for each other, and it's just a small town community.
All right, amazing. And as we were watching that too, and I'm like, time for some ice cream, I think for us
so.
as well.
Perfect weather for it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's getting warm.
It's been hot, it's been muggy, and it's cool in a town like Millbury, which we know they all care about each other there.
They do.
That you can have some businesses that support each other.
Yeah, get your ice cream, then head on over and get your whatever you want.
Do some shopping.
Yeah.
Toys or
Good deal.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, if your car looks like it's moving, it might not be your imagination.
Mayfly season has officially arrived along Lake Erie.
This is the one that kind of creeps some people out here. Check this video out from our photojournalist, Joe Cromer.
Gross.
I knew you were going to say that, Sophia.
Why does this not gross me out, though? It really doesn't bother me.
Because you've lived by the lake your whole life.
Oh, yes,
Okay,
that's right.
a good point. This, I don't know. I think something about mayflies in person or even over video. It looks like they're just littered everywhere.
Have you ever touched one or like picked one up?
Have you?
Well, obviously,
Okay,
yes.
yes. And
so you can pick them up by their little wings, and then if you like toss them up gently, they'll actually like fly away.
I think I would just squash
No,
it.
it's okay.
Wow,
No,
so
you
Heather
don't squash
tortures the mayflies. Nice to
not
admit this out loud. Wow.
I am helping them fly.
But don't they only live for a day?
Yeah, they only live for about
That's-
24 hours. They don't even have a mouth.
So you're
So
just
they can't
rushing
bite
them
you.
to their death.
No, they fly away. I am giving them joy in their only 24-hour long life.
Now, is this what's the grossest bug to you?
Oh, there's a lot.
The
of
little,
gross
well,
bugs, yeah.
stink bugs. for
Really?
one.
Okay. No, they're gross.
Yeah, they smell terrible, hence stink bugs.
Yeah, okay. Ryan, what's your creepiest crawler?
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not a big fan of spiders, though.
Okay.
I know it's not like the same
Who's
thing,
a
but I don't
fan
like
of spiders? I don't.
I don't know. I just don't like them.
I'm there.
Why are you criticizing the bug I don't like?
Because you guys are ganging up on me about the mayflies.
It is a weird thing. It's a,
You deserved it.
The good thing about mayflies, it's a sign of warm weather.
It's a sign of warm weather, and we know that it's a sign that the lake is healthy as well.
Yes.
So we don't like it that much, but it is very good. The walleye, a lot of animals.
You don't speak for me. I like
bunch
them.
of
You don't speak for me.
All right, I won't make fun of your
Positivity.
friends anymore, Heather. Sorry.
Okay, great. From a community looking for answers after a tragic weekend.
Yeah, the stories, people, and places that keep Northwest Ohio moving forward. Thanks for spending part of your day with us.
And remember, if it's happening in your neighborhood, on your timeline, or on your feed, we'll help you keep up with it. We'll see you next time on Your Feed.